welcome to the first ever Teenage Braveheart show. I'm your host, Kiera, and this is a show that's about rising up, standing up for yourself, and standing in your power as the next generation and the rising population in order to take control of your life and not follow in others' paths, but instead in what's genuine to yourself and to stick with it. Today, I am here with a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself, Gad?
My name is Gad. I'm 17. I come from Coleman, Alabama. Far away from here.
Okay, where are you from? And how was it coming to Ixtapa?
Well, I just said where I'm from, but coming from Ixtapa? Or
To Ixtapa.
To Ixtapa.
Yeah.
It was an adventure, I can say that for sure, because just getting down here. But it was fun. I liked coming down here, and then my time here, there's no part I've ever regretted. Like, I don't ever regret coming down here. It's one of the most funnest, the best thing I've experienced in my life. And, but there was something, no, it's gone. But, yeah, continue.
Okay. So for this show, I just want to say that every day is a choice and you have to follow in the you have to not follow in the footsteps of others, but instead to be your own person. And how do you feel like you've done that?
Been my own person?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I've been trying to do. I don't feel as I'm like fully my own person because I still have my subconscious, which is like messing with me a lot. But I have like, I'm saying like 65% I've like gathered myself. And so it does feel good to like actually be out of like the subconscious completely. Like if it's only for like a few hours of the day. Like it's because before I came here, I had no clue. Like there was just like, I didn't even have a single thought that I could be like, something could be like basically controlling me throughout the day and I wouldn't even know it.
So you were unaware that the subconscious ruled you?
Yeah.
And the subconscious is 90% of the brain, and you only spend 2 to 5% of the day in the conscious moment. The conscious moment is something where you can be present and live life in the present moment and experience things where you are instead of living in the past or present or the past or the future. And that's such a crucial part to taking control of your life, is to living in the present moment and the conscious mind instead of the subconscious, which is where all your programs are, where you replay every day the pattern of just like being unaware of your actions in the moment. So the routine of getting up, going to bed, going to work, coming home, or like going to school and then doing your homework, coming home over and over and over again, where your life feels like a pattern instead of something that you enjoy doing and something that you're experiencing in the moment. And that is such an important part to follow in order to just be yourself and step into your potential. So what is something that you've learned since you've come here? Because you stepped into this world of a bunch of information that was new without even understanding what you're getting into.
So something I learned, see there's a lot, so I don't know where to start, but a good thing I've learned is that really, well, like in all reality, you don't necessarily only need yourself, but in all reality, that's all you really need. And so I have learned to like myself a lot more and to not just like let myself kind of fall off. And I kind of like figured out how to bring myself back and just do a lot better all around.
And how do you think that is going to impact your life when you go home, or just like in general when you leave the setting of hearing it all the time?
Well, I plan to do big things whenever I get back home because I don't necessarily want to stay there for very long, because in a few months, who knows what's going to go down. because I am from the United States, so that story can change all the time. But what I want to do, there's a lot. I want to change my life.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. How do you plan on doing that?
That's a story for another time.
Okay. So just for a little bit of background information, what is your role here and what do you do?
I'm a videographer for Dr. Darrell Wolf. I've worked here for like 7 months now. I was just in training because I'd never done this before, but I learned a lot really quick. And I kind of just got like thrown at the fire, which is like personally I figured out is one of the best ways to learn, because I learned so much so quickly. And just to sit in here and do Darrell's videos, that's why I've learned so much about health and things. I've never taken the whole life coach, but I've sat through like 2 or 3 courses just doing the videos. And so it's been an amazing, life-changing like scene.
Sitting there and like listening to everything, it's not like about hearing the message once and going through it. It's instead about hearing it over and over and over again, and then that one time the way it's worded, it really sinks in. So if you want to like create a program that is beneficial for yourself, it's so important to surround yourself in it and to repeat it over and over and over again. And that's why doing things like mirror work or just like thinking positive thoughts is such an important part to become a better person and become what you want to be, because really at the end of the day your thoughts create your reality. So you just have to think about what you want to become and surround yourself even physically with things that you want to become and people who challenge you, and that'll improve and help you grow. So
Can I say something? I got a question for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite not really out of the energy medicine, like what's your favorite thing Darrell's like given you?
For me, it was definitely non-surgical because it's something that I enjoy so much, and talking about staying in the conscious mind and present moment, while I do it, it's like I'm always in the present moment and in a very calming state. So it's healing the person that I'm working on, but also myself, because it's almost like a meditation where I get to focus on my breath and be in the present moment. And it's also something that's so beneficial and useful. And if you didn't know, Wolf Non-Surgical is a technique of body work to break up displaced calcium, scar tissue, and crystallization in your body in order to repair healthy tissue. And it's done with your elbow, and that is one of my favorite gifts physically that I learned here, but also so many things and so many lessons are taught by Darrell, such as to love yourself and to focus on your breath, which just like, they're little things to implement, but the same events could happen to you throughout the day, and you wouldn't realize. It makes such a big difference on the way you react to things and your emotions. And at the end of the day, it isn't what happens externally throughout the day, but instead of internally and how you interpret that and feel about everything that happens. And is it a lesson or was it a problem in the day? And so I'm going to ask you, what is your passion and what do you enjoy doing?
Well, I enjoy doing videography. That's what I don't necessarily want to do videographer, like I don't want to be that for my whole life. What I necessarily wanted to do was to learn how to do it so I could run my own show and things. It's not going to be built around health or anything, but it taught me how to do a lot of things.
So this was a big step in the way of your journey, and you found something you really enjoy doing, which you can...
Yeah, and I didn't even ask for it, it just came to me. And so I took it, and I'm just running with it, and it's amazing.
And so what would you like to accomplish with videography?
I would like to one day run my own show and things.
And how do you plan on doing that?
That's what I want to do whenever I go back home.
You're going to start doing videography?
Yeah, for my mom.
Okay, that's awesome. And what does your mom do?
She is one, she's a massage therapist, and then she's taken the whole life coach and the non-surgical. She wants to one day teach and become a doctor, because that's what teaching is. That's what teaching means.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah.
That's awesome. And so, do you want to tell me a little bit about your family and your experiences with them growing up?
Well, we come from a lot of different places because we traveled a lot whenever I was young. I was born in Colorado Springs, but like a few months after I was born, we were in New Mexico. So we traveled a lot whenever I was young, but we finally ended up landing in Alabama. And so since my sister Sarah, she's 15, so we've been there for like 15, 16 years, most of my life. And so just growed up in a small town, Coleman, just back in the forest somewhere. It's grown a lot. It's become a town. In just my lifetime, it went from a town to a city. So it's huge now compared to what it used to be whenever I was a kid.
Mm-hmm. You have a lot of siblings.
I have 12.
12 siblings. So how do you think that's shaped who you are today? And in what ways do you think that like having your siblings has supported you but also not being beneficial?
I don't think, because you can really look at it in a bunch of different ways but I don't think there's like a single thing that was not beneficial, because it's shaped me as a person. And I always, like, since I was like 13, 14, I kind of started having problems with that person. But in all reality, everything was fine. It was just my subconscious getting to me. And it was nothing was even wrong, but I thought things were wrong. But now it's a lot better.
Mm-hmm. And when you view it that way, like, conflicts really are just something that you feel internally and something that you attract internally instead of something that is actually a problem. So a lot of conflicts stem from miscommunication or a personal feeling. Yeah. So even though you haven't been in a course, how do you think that it's impacted you? Like physically taken it, but you've listened to a lot and you've filmed and done a lot of work for all the courses?
So physically or mentally?
Both.
Well, mentally, I've only got one non-surgical training done. But see, where I come from, like I've worked at my old job. I worked 9 years, and I'm only 17. I quit last year sometime. So if I worked 9 years, I was 8 whenever I started, and I did a whole lot of heavy lifting because I was a construction worker. But it didn't really start until I was 14, the heavy lifting, but this one day, we were building this wall, and we had these bricks. They were about this big, that big. They weighed like 85 pounds a piece. I had to pick up over like 300 and some of those bricks, and some of them I had to pick them up over my head. And this one when I was 15. And ever since that day, my back hurt. It never was the same. And Gary, he worked on my back once, and it's never hurt again.
Yeah.
It was painful.
It really is powerful. And how was your experience getting non-surgical on your back?
It was painful, but it was like this kind of feels like, it's not really that it feels good, but it's like you can feel it like working. So you're like, okay, this is like, it feels good in a way, but it's like, it's painful. It's doing surgery without cutting you open.
Yeah. Well, pretty much when non-surgical, you can almost hear crackling, and the tissues, you can feel them tearing apart. It almost feels like a guitar string. But the thing is that the pain isn't like true pain, because behind it, there isn't like the emotion of fear, like if you were actually being hurt. But instead it's very calm energy. So it's like a combination of a massage, but also way more beneficial. It's like surgery, but it's reversing the effects of surgery. It's a permanent
massage.
Yeah.
It's like if you want a tattoo, you've got the fake ones that don't hurt at all. But then if you want a real one, you have to go and get a real tattoo. It's going to hurt a lot more, but it's going to stay there a lot longer. because non-surgical, that was whenever I very first got here. So it's been 7 months, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel it coming back.
And so how was the whole life course?
That taught me a lot
Shaped you.
emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was great. I loved sitting in there. I got there I think I got there early every morning. Just to get there, the ones I sat in onto were the best courses we've ever had. And so it was really live. We had the music playing, everything. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm. And the Whole Life Coach course is a course for emotional training, and it is something that is so powerful because every single course is shaped by the audience in it and by the people and the energy and the questions they ask and what they want to learn, their motivations and why they want to be there. And that's why it's so different every time. So every time you take it, you'll get a new lesson out of it. And do you feel like you noticed that listening to so many and videoing for them all?
That I got a lesson out of it?
No, like that you felt like it was very different every course, and the people in it really shaped it.
Well, not so much as the people shaped it, because whenever I focus on something, I kind of like everything else drifts off. So I focused on Daryl a pretty good bit whenever I wasn't focused on my work. But yeah, it definitely taught me a lot. There was something I was going to say. It's gone now.
Okay.
It's kind of how my brain works. It's just there and then gone. But there was something gone again. Just continue.
Okay. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat now, and we'd be happy to answer them. But when you put them, also make sure you include your age so that we can answer them differently. And yeah, I think that it's just so important to not listen to anyone else, even though you're around your family all the time, which they really do shape who you are. But the first step to like not becoming like everyone else in your family is to recognize that, and also to understand that every single person is so different, and that they're also can be so influenced by everyone around them if they don't understand that that they are being shaped by everyone, like externally. And so you really have to go into your mind and to be present, to put yourself first, and to love yourself. And in what way have you put yourself first?
Well, I put myself first. I've actually got a lot of things out of my life that I definitely put myself first. I wasn't expecting to come down here for this, but there's a reason I came down here for this.
Mm-hmm. And it probably would have changed your life for the rest of it. And
it did change my life for the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's right, Marina. Parents can be terrorists.
Yeah, but they also aren't always, and
they try their best.
Yeah.
They don't know what they're doing, but they can be without them knowing.
Mm-hmm.
But just like how we can be terrorists too. We might just be kids, but after the age of 7, who knows what we'll do.
Yeah. And if you don't know what Gad's referring to, pretty much before the age of 7, like, you're pure and true to yourself, but then when you start to comprehend and go to school and stuff, you become so shaped and programmed by everything around you, and you don't even realize it's happening. But also, yeah. So, do you have anything else you'd like to say?
What's that? That's the Telegram channel. Here. Well, what if, did you have any problems before you came here, or?
Yeah, I feel like my life was very repetitive and I didn't even realize it, and it was just going through the motions. And for me, like, coming down here, it came very quickly and a surprise. So pretty
It's
much
kind of like woke you up.
well, we didn't even realize we were coming down here, and then we just thought, well, might as well go to Mexico, because who doesn't want to go to Mexico for... So we came down here within a week, and we were just going to stay a little bit of time, and with just no expectations. I mean, my mom, I came down here with her, and she was a health coach, and so she followed Daryl and his content, and they had very similar beliefs about a lot of the stuff. And so we ended up taking the course, and it really tied in the emotional aspect, and I became aware to so many things that I didn't even realize, such as like just my belief system and the programming and my subconscious, and how like much that ruled my life. And also I didn't even like the people I surrounded myself with, and so many things that were like I'd give up a piece of who I was for other people and to please the external. And I became so aware of that when I came down here, and I feel like it really changed who I was for the better.
Okay, we have a question.
Okay.
What topic do you describe on your channel with young people? Can I answer this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically from whenever, because like we have generation, I don't remember the names, but like the generation, like one generation above me, and then you have our generation, a lot of things change whenever it goes from 1 to 2. Like a lot changed. And like it's a long story, like just like from where I come, because like everywhere it's different. Because like I know from Canada, like kids our age, even like they act completely different. And like, but people from, so like it depends on where you're at, but like things about like what's going on, like things we can like, because we feel you in those places, because like questions for young teens. Like,
Yeah, and this show, we really want to talk about so many different things. I want to bring on a bunch of guests and interview, just like I'm doing with Gad, but also I want it to be a place where Daryl attracts an older audience to talk, but I also want to attract a younger one to talk about these topics, because learning about this stuff at a young age is what's going to create a change in the world. And really the majority and how the majority thinks is how the world is going to be ruled, and how people are going to act and what they're going to put up with when they're older. And I think that it's best to learn and to have such an open mind at a young age, because then you won't have to go through putting up with stuff you don't enjoy and programming, so that you can step into your power and enjoy your life and just be happier throughout your entire life, instead of putting up with it for so long and all this building up, and then when you're 50 realizing that this isn't the life you wanted and that you didn't enjoy your life before, and then going through all the steps. But instead of just starting it young and living your whole life.
Yeah, because it's so much harder to turn back then. Because then you have to go twice the distance.
Well, also there's all the buildup of the years of putting up with abuse and surrounding yourself with people you don't enjoy to be around, doing things you don't want to do every day. And there's the solidified routine of working all day and then coming home and just getting through the night before you start work again the next day. And it's so much to go through that when you're not really passionate about it and don't want to be doing it. And so I really just want everyone to be able to live the best life that they really enjoy, and the easiest way to do that is to start young. And so, do you feel like you're on a different path now?
I'm on a way different path.
Yeah, I know I am too, and it's not really the path that's conventional, and a lot of people don't understand it, but it's something that like I really enjoy in the moment, and I can always change my life if I don't enjoy it anymore. So I think we have a question. I'm a parent thinking of coming down with my 16 and 18-year-old teens. I've been concerned with them not having a community of teens. How do you manage there as teens? Well, right now there's a decent-sized community of us. I mean, people come and go, so it's.
Yeah.
I've been here for a long time, and it's almost like you're living like a permanent life in a place that's very temporary. People come and go, but there's always been people here in support, and I think that'd be really awesome if you brought them down here, because it would honestly be such a great experience.
Yeah.
And
Which there's also a lot of people like here that do speak English our age. So
yeah, well, there's also the community. There's lots of like locals and stuff here that you can meet as well. And then there's also a community of people who came here by listening to Daryl's stuff that are from all over the world. And it's such a great opportunity because, like, I would have never met someone from Alabama if I hadn't come down here. And there's so many different people with so many different stories, and it's so amazing to hear about. So
I don't think that's a question. I think she's just telling us something.
But yeah, it's really hard to have unconditional love for yourself when it's not displayed. And I think that's also another topic of why this show's so important, because when you're around a community of people who don't love themselves and don't have any love or respect and don't honor themselves, then how are you supposed to learn to love yourself if no one's telling you that it's so important? And people say, yeah, I love myself, but they don't know what it means or understand it. And in order to do that, you have to put yourself first, even though it's like a place where you feel like it's wrong. And
yeah, people will say that they love themselves, but if you give them like, if you ask someone to go every night for 1 week, to look in the mirror every night for 10 minutes, they couldn't do it.
yeah,
it's
and
so hard.
And that's a really good test to see if you love yourself, because looking at yourself for such a long time can be so uncomfortable, because you get to see who you really are. And a lot of people don't like that person in the mirror because they just chose a life because it's easy instead of something that they really want to do. And over the years, they've kind of given up who they are and their respect for themselves and let themselves down this path that they don't want to be on, which also comes where all the health problems are, because people don't put themselves first.
They are.
And have you noticed like how people who don't love themselves have more health problems?
Wait, what?
Have you noticed how people who don't like love themselves and put themselves first have more health problems?
Yeah. Wait, ask that one more time. I was making eye contact with someone that walked in.
Okay, so when people don't love themselves, do you notice that they have more physical health problems with themselves?
Yeah, well, I kind of see where it stems from, because like I see, like they talk to me and I learn who they are, and like if they eventually tell me like what their problem is, because I don't really go around asking people what their problems are, but if they tell me what their problems is, I can almost, since I've sat in so many classes and things, I can almost tell someone, like I'll ask someone that knows more than me, of course, like if I'm doing anything wrong, if I'm telling them the wrong thing. But I can usually tell someone what's wrong with them and how they could help themselves.
Because it really is so simple, and it stems from your emotional state and who you are, and your programs and the way you think. And that's really where all health problems stem from. You can almost pinpoint how they are by the way that
the person thinks and acts.
And their problem is always directly related to the mind, which is something that's so misunderstood in the world. It's not something physical that just happened by coincidence. It's something that rooted from yourself and your beliefs.
But it's not even, at the end of the day, it's not even our faults, because we don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even realize it's happening, and that's why it's so important to be aware of it. So how do you think that your experience here is gonna affect your life when you go back home? And do you think that it's gonna be very different going back to a place where you're so aware of so many more things now around people that aren't?
Well, that's one of the things. Just being here for so long, because I did have I knew a lot of people back where I'm from, because it's a small town.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everyone knows everyone back there. And but since I've been down here for 7 months, it really does show you who your real friends are and who like the ones that like will ride with you and the ones that won't. But so like I have hardly any more friends, but which was something I needed because I was in a lot of not very good things for my life back whenever. So like all that's basically out of my life.
So you feel like the distance has made the things that aren't important to you so much more clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it just like faded out the things that were messing up my life.
So now you have like the things that are primary. So do you feel like when you go back home, it's going to be more things that you enjoy versus things
it's more like a fresh restart in the same place that you started in.
Mm-hmm.
But you make it better.
Yeah, so you have the established connections, but you know what's important, what to value.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So if you would like to be interviewed or you have any more questions, then you can email us at teenagebraveheart@docadetox.com. We just got another question. So parents hand down their beliefs, and it's commonly stinking thinking, which is handed down to them. So yes, there's lots of the generations, so you can notice that like each generation in a family, so like the grandparent, the parent, and the child, they all are very similar ways that they think because they surround each other with that. And then they have very similar ways, mindsets, and beliefs, and emotions, and it's almost like identical because you hand down your beliefs to your kid and everything you know, and your kid will just absorb it all. So whether it's positive or negative, that's what it's going to be, and it's going to be similar to the parent, but also can be portrayed very differently. Do you notice that in your family?
See, I've got a big family, so it goes, I see that some places. It goes from different people, like some, they're doing great. Actually, all of Abby, she's doing great. Sarah, she's doing great. Actually, I think all of them are doing good. John, he's still doing pretty good. So yeah, I don't think I see very much like, they've kind of all found themselves. John, my brother John and Samuel, they both got the V, but they did it because of my dad. They thought if they did it to make him mad, that it was like for pity, and they didn't realize what they were actually doing, like the actions behind what the vaccine actually was, or what like their health or anything with it. And so after they got it, now they realize. So they've only got one, but now they realized that they didn't want to get it. They shouldn't have got it, but we can't do anything about it. So that was like out of the 50 reasons my mom had to come down here, that was one of them, was so we could learn how to help them with that.
And do you feel like in your family, since you have so many siblings, they kind of take care and raise each other, and that's why...
I've taken care of 3 kids or 4 in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm. And that's why your parents' beliefs and your grandparents and everyone else around you isn't so prominent, because you guys all have each other and you all have played such an influential role in each other's lives.
Yeah, and also we never went to school. So, I don't know if I can say that on here, but, we never went to school. We were homeschooled our, entire life. My 3 older brothers, they went to school, but they only made it to the fifth grade, I think. And that was my oldest brother. My youngest one, I think he almost made it out of kindergarten. But so that helped us out a lot because I never went to school, so I didn't get stuck with 8 hours a day sitting at a desk looking at a book. So that helped me out a lot.
And you've always been around each other all day, every day?
Building stuff, man. Half my life I grew up in the woods. I can build a house out of sticks and pine straw. It's actually really fun.
Okay, me too. My son has heart issues due to vaccines. His doctor tells him that it's a genetic condition. And
I've actually, so I don't know necessarily things to do with the heart. What's good for the heart? Because I've actually had heart problems too. Whenever I was 15, I had a heart attack, actually, at a skating rink, and it was really bad. But I was doing a lot of things. I was drinking a lot of energy drinks. Those are horrible for you. Don't ever drink those. And a bunch of different stuff. But the ways I figured out to help with my heart, because I had really bad chest pains and things like that. And so what I did is I connected to my Lionheart breathing. You can clap the chest. That's really good. And actually in your chin right here and your jaw, that's where you create most stem cells.
Yeah, if you clap your jaw and down to your vagus nerve, you'll create the most stem cells, which is so beneficial for yourself and for your whole body. So.
And there's many of other things. I mean, at the end of the day, even if you're helping your brain with energy medicine or something, your brain can also help the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm. So your thoughts create your reality, and that's why it's so important to have good thoughts.
Even if you're starting out with a daily cleansing tea, you're fixing your large intestine, which is helping the rest of your body because it's not having to work on that so hard. You're doing the C60, you're helping your eyes so your brain isn't burning all day. You wear the Tesla glasses, it helps your brain. You're not getting brain damage every day. I don't know how people are still like thinking and doing things and still like evolving. If they I don't know how they still see.
Yeah, there's so many little things you can do to help issues that don't even seem related, but really your whole body's connected and related to each other, so taking care of it as a whole is the most beneficial way to stay healthy and to even take care of one issue anywhere.
Hey Rafa.
Yes?
Can you get me a clapper? Someone asked what's clapping.
What is?
Can you get me a clapper?
Yeah.
So if you were gonna,
So
what do you think? How did you explain clapping?
So a clapping is a device that Daryl invented. Here's a clapper. It was invented by Daryl, and it's used to increase circulation in your body so that you can restore healthy tissue. And circulation is such an important thing to health. And so when you clap, here's a demonstration, and you can do it.
So just show them the places. So like where the
So you can do
heart
it
and lungs.
anywhere on your body. So here is the thing for your heart and lungs. And so when you clap here for 10 minutes, almost everybody will have bruising, black nodules come up to the surface of their skin, and that's how you can tell if your heart and lungs are healthy or not. And this is a channel to them. So clapping this will improve your heart and lung health and prevent heart and lung disease.
Mm-hmm.
So clapping is one of the best ways to.
It's almost endless with a clapper because all it does is it makes your circulation better. So you can clap your head to make your brain better, to help fight depression, get hair grow back, so many different things. And I use it one time I went to the gym, then I came back and I used that just to break up the muscles and just relax them a little bit more, and it works great for that too.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many uses. It's almost endless.
Yeah, so I'd recommend a clapper to everyone. You can get them at the Detox shop. And they're such an affordable solution to so many problems. And so I missed your conversation on creating more stem cells. Could you please let me know? So one of the most beneficial ways to create more stem cells is to use the clapper, which we just explained, along your jaw. And so that will create stem cells in your body and increase circulation in your jaw, which will help your whole body because it's all connected. So how's this journey been for you?
The journey?
Yeah, here. Do you feel like it's been different when you first arrived versus now?
Oh yeah, it's been a whole roller coaster, but one I never would push the ejector seat. I never would.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck along this long.
Yeah.
I wish I was staying longer. I do. It's sad to think I'm going back home, but there's some things I need to get done, and I hope to come back.
Yeah, you'll be back.
That's our plan in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was being here is such like a different experience, but it's also been such an amazing journey, and it's so different just culturally being in Mexico, but also the environment and the people that are here and surrounding yourself with. And if you didn't know, we're located in Ixtapa, Mexico, and we're coming live to you from there. And that kind of leads us into the courses.
Wait, I want to answer the one with the heart. There's the cardiovascular bed. That would help them a lot. What it is it's this bed. And we explained it in the last show. I don't know if I'll do it as good as Daryl can, but I'll go for it. But basically what it is this big bed. It's like $200 and like some $1,000 bed. And it weighs, I don't even know, it's super heavy. What it does is it's got cuffs right here, cuffs on your ankles, cuff right here, and it's got a few for the chest, but it's not necessary. And you connect it to the person's pulse and like everything. And so basically what it is this big machine that reads your pulse, so it can like monitor your heart to see whenever it pumps and like whenever it stops. And so every time your heart pumps, it blows up, and so basically what it does is it just goes with your heartbeat. And it's not uncomfortable, it doesn't hurt, it's just like it feels kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
And but basically what that does is it makes new what are they called, arteries in your heart. So after you're done with the 6 weeks on the, I can't remember how to say it, the bed, you'll have twice as many. And if you do all the treatments and everything else with it, you'll have the twice as many and your old ones.
Yeah,
so
there's so many
really
solutions. Also, an advanced water cell helps with stem cell production. That is true at day 3 of an advanced water fast. You're producing more stem cells than if you were to go get stem cell treatments. So that is such like a beneficial way to get the most stem cells. And if you're clapping your jaw while water fasting, then you'd be getting double as many. So we're located here in Ixtapa, Mexico, and if you'd like to come down and take courses or just be here, you're more than welcome. The New World Practitioner course starts on April 30th, as well as there's ones in May and June. And it will be very exciting experience.
I can't wait to see all the new people that come for this course.
Mm-hmm. As well as that, if you have any questions or want to be on the show, then
how would
email teenagebraveheart at docofdetox.com.
You wanna demonstrate how you would clap your jaw, and how long? So
okay.
You think 10 minutes is good for the jaw?
Yeah, I think that it's most beneficial to clap the jaw as long as you can. It will not hurt you. It's more beneficial to clap for longer, but if you want to start out, I'd go for 10 minutes, and pretty much what you do is you just take this and you smack your jaw. It's about the flick of the wrist when you're clapping, and it's so important not to go super light and just tap, but instead to full on clap, because it produces the most circulation and also is going to be most beneficial than going very lightly.
Yeah, and it's not really about how fast you go, just as long as if you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm. It's not about the speed, it's about the how hard you clap. So, yeah.
And now you lost it.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining the first episode of Braveheart Generation, or Teenage Braveheart. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
It was amazing doing this. I'm glad I got to come on the show.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for coming on for the first episode. And I'm very excited for the show's future because it has so many lessons to teach to a new audience and something that will honestly change your life. So thank you so much for coming on for the first episode. If you have any questions, feel free to send an email. 3, 2, 1.
We got this.
You got this.
You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it.
Found Dr. Wolf and all his positivity and trying to reshape our way of thinking and help me be a better person, a better mom, better wife. I'm glad I found him in person in Ixtapa, Mexico.
Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited.
This guy's got something really interesting to say and he's sharing it really openly and we're just really not caring what other people think, and I just thought that was really empowering.
What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand you take life one step at a time.
Dr. Wolf, as many people will have seen, is very direct and straight and will take you to the edge of the cliff, as he says, and then pull you back just in time.
Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination. The image that you hold creates the thought that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious. So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain, change your personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite.
He's a wealth of information, and I love it.
You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together.
I found Dr. Wolf and I went, wow, here's a truth speaker. And he spoke to my soul, and he spoke truth.
So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. They become the gift to the world, because when you can stay in the present, and you can't do that until you have unconditional love and care for yourself. And I'll tell you something right now. I have hardly even found 1 out of 1,000 practitioners, or even so-called whole life coaches, that can hold the present moment and own it and then give it as a gift. And this is what I'm going to give to you. And when you come here, this is where you're going to come into this room when you need to find alignment, you need to find balance, and you need to get back into your lion heart breath, because we're going to go deep into your heart and we're going to become the spark that you seek.
And actually what I really love about Dr. Wolf's teachings is that unconditional love is literally it. And then you're like, how can it be that easy? That's just silly. So, but it's really not.
Come play, come stay, come train with us today. Understand something. I know we have fear, but understand, that's just false evidence appearing real. I get it. Stick your toe in, feel the water, but then I want you to dive right in because
How I found my Braveheart was through Daryl. He really teaches you to go within and go in through your heart and not your mind, because your heart's a lot more connected to so much more than your mind. Your mind is just so conditioned and your heart is just so open and beautiful.
you're the answer that you've been looking for. Let me teach you how to fly. What does that mean? First, love yourself, Braveheart. Let's take life in and win.
I had just lost my husband a couple of years ago. With his passing, he gave me the greatest gift to love myself. But Dr. Wolf gave me the greatest gift in understanding that.
I had a dream 3 years ago that I would live in Mexico and I would have this training center, this teaching center, this treatment center that would touch the world. Your dreams are never too big. And when they start to create a little bit of anxiety, turn them into excitement. And get excited because this is your life.
He's the first doctor that I have encountered that has truly given me the truth, and not just half-truths, but the full truth. So it's been revolutionary for me in my healing process.
And this, my friend, when you take on the dream of all dreams and you realize that if you stay connected to your breath, that you can have it all. Do not let anybody take your breath away. Do not let anybody steal your dream, okay? Listen, God gave you imagination. This is your sandbox of life. Take your life back. Right now, we are teaching courses to people that have come from all over the world, and the government is saying you can't travel, you can't breathe, you can't have this, you can't come together. Yes, we will. And we will do it with unconditional love for each other. And we will learn to grow. We will not judge each other. We'll observe and see where we can support each other. But at the same time, we will hold the Braveheart line, because this is the only way that we can grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you. Let me ask you a question. What do you think it would take to turn your life around? I can tell you right now, I learned that a long time ago, what the key was. And anybody that has been able to perfect the perfect day on an emotional, physical, and spirit level knows this. The answer is massive, personal action. That's what it's going to take for you to turn your life around. And to turn your life around, you're going to have to go within if you want to change without. And that's the bottom line. And you know, people think that they can do it like with a consultation, or maybe they can do it with a telephone call, or a Band-Aid, or a 911 emergency, a treatment. But understand, that's not the way it is. The day that you realize that when you master your mind is the only time you're going to master your body. Forget your life. That's always going to be just random luck until you know that you must become the master of your day. From the moment you rise until you gently close your eyes, you must be the only authority for you. And if you think that getting an hour consultation is going to do it, it's not. If you think that going for therapy is going to do it, it's not. You have to submerge yourself into what we would call the personal treatment and training. And you need to do that from anywhere from 6 days to 10 days, or you need to come for my whole life coach certification, because if you don't go in deep, you'll never make changes. They say it takes 10,000 times for you to repeat something before it becomes a prominent, dominant thought. And if you understood that 70 to 90% of all your thoughts are not yours, and they say that 70% of your thoughts are toxic, tell me they're not. Take a look at the majority of the population. 92% of the population has an autoimmune disease, which means the body is attacking itself. Before that, though, the person was attacking themselves on a subconscious, unconscious level. And that, my friend, is the bottom line, and why you must take a personal treatment and training and go deep and understand how to run your life. What that means is learning how to think, how to drink, how to eat, and knowing when somebody is mistreating you, when someone is disrespecting you, because until you honor and respect yourself, no one else is going to do it. So understand, this is your life. If you want to live your passion and purpose, then you must become the master of your mind to become the master of your body, so that you can become the light for your family. So please, consider this. You've got the time and you've got the money, because you're going to change the rest of your life for the rest of your life, and that's my guarantee to you.